Hey Tenno, before we start I wanted to inform you that these videos are aimed at helping new Tenno. I will not be going over how to min-max your gear or showing you tactics for specific bosses in these videos. The second thing is that this is not my main account, but when I do use that account for examples or comparisons I will let you know. So now that we have gotten that out of the way, let's begin. Perhaps you have found your initial trip here to be overwhelming. Or maybe you're wanting some assistance on how to find and utilize the tools that are here. So let's start with a few of the basics. I'm going to assume that you have completed the first introductory missions and obtained the segments to unlock your arsenal and your foundry. So let's take a more in-depth look at the arsenal. This is where we're going to equip, upgrade and alter the appearance of our warframes, or perhaps peruse future warframes. We will also equip, upgrade and alter our primary weapons, secondary weapons, and melee weapons. For now we're not going to focus on the Parazon. Our second tab in the arsenal is allocated to our companions. Here we can equip, upgrade and also alter the appearance, within reason of course, to things like our Kubro, Kavat, and Helminth, among others. This is where we will also find our sentinels. Our third tab in our arsenal is our gear wheel. This is where a Codex Scanner can be equipped, but also items like a synthesis scanner, connected traps, energy health or shield restores, or fishing and mining gear, among others. We will also use this tab to equip items like our Arc Wing or K-Drive launchers. Our fourth and final tab is where we will equip items that will help us to explore larger areas. Items like our Arc Wing, which has a primary and a melee weapon, and of course we can swap these out, upgrade them and also alter the appearance. We can also equip items like our K-Drive here, and there may be other items that we can equip here later on as we play the game a little bit more. I apologise if that seems a little vague, but I am trying to make this as spoiler free as possible. What I thought we would do now was run a quick mission. Now don't worry, I'm not going to make you endure the whole mission. But what I'm going to make sure I have is the Codex Scanner equipped. Now, if there's one thing that I wish I knew when I first started playing Warframe, was the importance of the Codex Scanner and how I should have really been using it from the get-go. Now why it's so important will become apparent in our next section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run this solo so that I'm not going to basically bug anyone else or have everyone else kill everything. So let's see, let's just do an exterminate mission. I think definitely not a spy. Yeah, I think we'll run up to an exterminate mission. That'll make things a lot easier. I have noticed playing over and over again a lot of new players, when they get into a mission they just run and gun and kill everything. But what is equally important is obtaining resources, and believe me, you are going to need them if you're going to be looking at building warframes or weapons. Now I'm not saying you have to go into the mission and shoot and smash every single case or crate that you come across, but get into the habit of at least taking a swing at a few, because those resources are going to be important. So I'm just going to scan a few items in this and hopefully a few enemies, and then like I said earlier, we're going to look at the Codex Scanner and the Codex in particular in our next section, and why getting into the habit of this is so important. Let's see if I can get him before he spots me. Oh, oh. The gig is up. Here we go. Oh, I see you hiding behind there, mate. Come on. You want to make sure you want to unequip your companions, because they do have a habit of killing things before you even get a chance to scan something. So, yep, mate, I'm here for resources. More important. Sorry. Give me those resources, come on. Old habit, you know, checking every corner. Like I said, you don't have to get everything, but at least get into the habit of putting some of the items in here. It's basically anything that glints is something you can smash. And you not just get resources, but you'll also get credits. I want to scan this guy, Mr. Butcher. Oh, I don't like your photo being taken. Oh well. You'll also see these lockers in here. So the green ones we can open. You can get mods to put on your companions that will actually, they will actually try and break open those lockers for you, and there is a percentage that they will be successful in that attempt. Stabby stabby in the back. Okay, so now that we've headed back to our orbiter, on the topic of resources, there is the smashy slashy glinty thing option. That's one way of doing it. There is also another option, and I know a lot of people in chat have asked, how do I know what planet has what resources? If we hover over a planet, push down on our right stick, it's going to give us what resources actually fall on those planets, which is quite handy, especially if you're looking after a specific resource to build that weapon or finish up that Warframe. You'll see down the bottom it says that I can't deploy an extractor unless I've unlocked all the nodes, so that's one requirement before I can use an extractor. And the other one is the fact that I don't have any extractors at the moment. Now, whether you want to use extractors earlier on in this part of the game is entirely up to you. I like to think of them as a nice to have. They're not an absolute necessity, but it is another option for you if you're looking at gathering resources. So, how do we obtain extractors? If we head on over to our market, I believe there are two options in here for extractors. Extractor. Yeah, so our first one here has a chance to actually also acquire uncommon and rare resources, which might be quite handy. And then we also have the option of our standard extractor. I'm going to go probably for the rare and uncommon resource option. Now this is going to cost us 50,000 in-game credits to purchase, and of course there's going to be a build time with it, right? So, ka-ching, there goes the hard-earned in-game credits. And then what we want to do once we've gotten that blueprint is, of course, head over to our foundry. We're going to find the extractor in miscellaneous, and yep, there it is at the top there. And you can see the build time in real hours there. I've got the resources to build it, so I'm going to get that one baking. So once that build time is completed, I'm going to come back, get the extractor, and then I'm going to head back over to a planet. And remember, we need to unlock all the nodes on that planet before we can deploy the extractor, and then I'll get that going. And it will take time, and you will get an in-game notification advising you when you can actually collect that extractor and the lovely resources that it's collected. So let's now take a look at why I believe using that Codex Scanner in mission is so important. If we head on over to our codex, yes, we can get our quests here, but in the universe tab, if we have a look at factions, we can see some of the items that we had actually scanned in that previous exterminate mission. There's our buddy there, the lovely butcher, a lancer that we scanned. I did scan a couple of other items, but I think for now what we will do is we'll take a look at our buddy the butcher. Now here, because we've only got a couple of scans on the butcher, it's going to give us very basic information. So why are we scanning them? If we go over to my main account and we look for our friend the butcher over here, because I've completed the maximum amount of scans on that particular enemy type, and that's indicated by that green icon in the top right corner, it's going to give me a whole lot of information. So now I know the vulnerabilities and the resistances, and this is going to be important because now I can start modding my weapons according to that enemy type. Or it may also help me to decide on picking another Warframe which is going to maybe better suit that particular mission for that enemy. Oh, orders right on cue. You'll also notice at the bottom that there are possible drops that will come from this enemy. So if you're after a particular mod, this is also another handy way of finding out who you have to go after in order to possibly get that mod. So now the question is this a running and gunning game or is this a scanning game? There is a way around that. If we head over to our companions, our trusty companions, and we want to look at our sentinels, and the one that is particularly good at scanning is a little chap called Helios. Now I do have a bit of a gripe with this because I do wish he was cheaper to build. I kind of prefer him over Taxon, to be honest, because as much as the Taxon does run and gun or shield, your Helios is going to be more handy earlier on in the game for scanning those items. Now, as I said, we can build him from our foundry, but look at how pricey he is, and particularly the field drawn. And we do need to get the field drawn. We will get field drawn samples out in the field, but we actually do need to build field drawn. And the blueprint for that can be found in clans, which we will look at in our next video. And with that done, thank you very much for watching, Tenno. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.